Alrighty guys, today I have a special treat. For who? For me. We have the WorkTuff Gear Ninjuko by Joe Flowers. Designed by Joe Flowers and made by WorkTuff Gear. Look at this thing. WorkTuff Gear Ninjuko. Comes with this taco style Kydex sheath. I got this second hand, which was from somebody else that had gotten it second hand. And we have a WorkTuff Gear Puukko, designed by Joe Flowers. And I absolutely am loving this thing. This thing is fantastic. This is a great little Puukko knife. I picked this guy up a couple days ago. I'm going to do a little overview on this thing before I do a full video on it. Let's just kind of talk about it a little bit. We've got kind of that same sort of texturing that's on the carnivore knife. This CNC milled, like pyramid type texturing. And just this plain kind of brown color, G10. And sort of traditional Puukko style with no guard. Simple handle shape, and this one kind of comes down, gets a little skinnier, and has a little swoop on it. Screwed together. We've got a little lanyard hole down there. We've got these scallops up here for doing some pinch grips. Resting your fingers on there like that. And then we have this really thin slicey blade. Really thin slicey blade. It starts off really skinny, and then it gets a little wider towards the tip on the back side here, you can see. And it's got this really cool fuller, which I really like. I like the way it looks, and I like how it's textured. I don't know if you can see that or tell, but there's like this textured milling inside of the fuller there. Like you can feel that. And then there's like these little lines milled inside of the texture going horizontally with the blade. Really cool. So we're going to get a little bit of a close-up on here. You see the milling lines on the fuller there? So there's like a bunch of textured lines milled into it, as long as a bunch of textured mill lines in that fuller with some decorative horizontal lines going towards the tip of the blade that are kind of like arrows. And that's stropping compound stuck in the fuller. So I have a feeling there's going to be a lot of problems with dirt and debris and gunk getting stuck in there. N690 cryo. First production run. WorkTuff Gear. And then we have the Bushcraft Global logo. This is cryo-treated N690 steel. 58 to 60 HRC. All the writing on here is very tiny. Very interesting to see a Puukko from WorkTuff. I'm not sure when they did these productions. This is a first gen knife. But it has like a swedge. It has a swedge. So you have your main blade stock thickness. And then it comes down really thin. You can see how thin that is. But it's thinner on the top half than it is below the fuller. So essentially halfway up this blade, they kind of grinded a swedge so it gets skinnier. It gets skinnier on the top portion of the blade. above the fuller, and then your Scandi grind. And it's interesting just to see a Puukko with a fuller too. Very interesting. You can see the grind line here. So the bottom of the fuller, from this line all the way down, is your zero grind, is your bevel grind. And then above that is the swedge cut. And it gets skinnier as it goes back. It tapers back. So it starts off wide, giving you a stronger tip, and then gets thinner towards the back side towards the handle. Very interesting. From what I've read, it's a Scandi, they did a true Scandi grind, and then they put a micro convex on here. And so there's no sharpening choil or choil of any kind. You go from the plunge grind back here, and below the plunge grind there's no sharpened edge until about right here. So it's all flat, and then you've got sharpened edge, and then the rest of the blade. This, I really like this thing. This is a perfect EDC size. It's not too big, it's not too small. You get a really good grip on this. There's no guard, straight back, pretty much a neutral handle. You get a Scandi grind. This thing is sweet. This thing is perfect EDC size, an EDC Puukko. This is just great. I really want WorkTuff to do another generation of these. This is a Gen 1. I'm not sure if they ever did a Gen 2. This is my least favorite handle color that they had available. There's a bunch of other way better handle colors that they had when they came out with this. But very, very interesting take on a Puukko. I really like Joe Flowers and all the designs he makes. It's really weird looking right here, and I thought this knife might have been messed up. So when you come from this plunge grind at the heel of the blade, it kind of dips up just a little bit. It goes in just ever so slightly from here, and all the pictures I've seen of this, they're all like that, and that kind of bugs me a little bit. But if that's how they came from the factory, I am okay with that. I just didn't want the knife I bought to have been damaged or missharpened, causing a defect like that. And I don't know if that's just an optical illusion because it gets thicker down here or what, but you can definitely see there's like a dip that goes in right here. But like I said, it was like that on all the pictures that I've seen. This thing is really thin. This is a very thin blade. You can bend this. So this will be really interesting to see how this performs in all of my testing, in all my tasks. This tip is a little bit wider, but I'm still worried that this tip is going to be fragile, and I really don't want to break it. But I want this to be able to drill and be a good working tip that I don't have to worry about breaking off. But this thing is just fits in my hands perfect. No guard. It's got a very sharp spine. This spine is going to throw sparks like crazy. You can already tell. Very sharp. And let's talk about this sheath for a second. So it comes with this taco style Kydex sheath, which I really like. This is great for pocket carry. I'm pretty sure brand new these came with tech locks, which I'm not a big fan of. I do have a tech lock I could put on here to kind of see how it would have been from the brand new, but I really don't like tech locks. So I got this without the ulti clip. When I bought it, I just had the sheath, and so right away I put an ulti clip on it, and I've been carrying this in my pocket. It's got this really nice thumb wrap here. No jiggle, rattle. It's in there solid. Really nice sheath. And they did a really interesting take on a drain hole. So instead of like opening up a hole on the bottom of the sheath and having it like go through, they literally just like drilled a hole straight through the sheath at the tip of the knife. So you can see the tip of the knife there, right where that drain hole is. So I've never really seen one like that before, but I guess it works. At least it has a drain hole. So I thought that was kind of interesting. But yeah, this fits in the pocket great. It's a good sheath. This is going to be a great outdoors EDC fixed blade, pocket fixed blade. This will be really good for small game, fishing, hunting, camp, carving, all that good stuff. At least I hope it'll be good for carving. I guess we'll find out. One thing I do notice right off the bat, when I went to strop this thing, I was getting compound stuck in this fuller. You can see right there, there's some compound in that fuller. This fuller is going to attract gunk and dirt like crazy. If you use this on any sort of game or fish or anything dirty or mucky, you're going to get all sorts of stuff in that fuller. So you're going to have to be sure to clean that out really good. I've never had a knife with N690. As far as I know, it's a stainless. It's like a high carbon stainless steel. Let's take a look at some similar knives and give you some size comparisons really quick. So you want to put this thing up against this knife. I carry almost more than anything. It's the Trezola Pocket Fixed Blade. You got very similar sizes, very similar blades. Side by side. This one's got a thicker, longer handle, thicker handle, and more cutting edge. But it's not too much bigger. Not too much differences going on here. It's also thinner. It's also got thinner geometry. So there's a little size comparison. And this actually will carry in this MKM sheath. Might be a tad bit on the large side for this thing, but it works just fine. If you want to do a classier sheath. So that's the MKM right there. You want to compare it to the tops. Silent Hero, much smaller than the Silent Hero. Much thinner. And all that much, not much less handle, honestly. Just a tiny bit less handle. Much more manageable to carry. A much narrower blade. Very similar sheath. And next to the tops wood nymph. The wood nymph is super tiny. Much larger than the wood nymph. Although everything's larger than the wood nymph. Just a couple, put it in the sheath here. Couple folders, the PM2. Obviously this is going to be a lot more to commit to carry than a folding pocket knife like the PM2. But honestly this is not bad in the pocket at all. The PM2 doesn't really have a lot of cutting length, cutting edge for handle ratio. But opened up it's a little bit longer. We've got the ZT 0308, which is longer opened up. Your balance on this is totally butt heavy. You're not balanced until about right there. So definitely handle heavy, and that's exactly what you want with a knife made for precision. A knife for carving and cutting. You get way more control of the blade with all the weight being in the handle. So that's a quick peek at the WorkTuff Gear Ninjuko, designed by Joe Flowers. I'm going to be carrying this around as an EDC for a while, and I will be doing a full video on this knife and really put it through a bunch of tasks and see how well it performs. I'll put a fresh edge on here, and we'll see how she carves and does all those other bushcraft tasks and some EDC stuff. And until then, I'll be carrying this thing. So if you guys are interested in checking this out, you will have to find it somewhere on the secondary market or wait for WorkTuff to potentially make another run of these. And if they do, I will probably be getting one. So that is the WorkTuff Gear Ninjuko.